it's one of those things where, and I like to highlight this comment by Todd Johnson. Just be aware this is Jim Sailing, CFP appearances at best. Um, yeah, I think there's some credence to that. But what I would say, uh, for one, I think as a Michigan fan, you get to ask yourself, do you believe that as a program, let's say Harbaugh aside, let's say as a program, do you think this is the ceiling, right? Like, has Harbaugh taken the Michigan football program as far as it could possibly go, or is this something where has hit his ceiling with his particular style of play? And I think it's debatable both ways. Um, I think, um, if he was to leave, would I be concerned that we'll go whoever comes in, or internally whoever's promoted, that we're going back to the Brady Hoke and Rich Rod years? No, I'm not concerned about that. I believe those two regimes were an outlier in bad Michigan football history. I don't think we're going back to that. But I do believe that there's a chance this program takes a certain step, like takes a step back, because one of the biggest things that no one's really talking about is the way recruiting has gone the last couple of years. If Michigan wants to sustain this type of success they have had, you got to recruit. You got to get the players. I know you can be really good at player development and squeeze the most juice out of that particular fruit of player, but you got to have the guys. You got to have the speed. You got to have the strength. And Monday night is clear evidence of that. It's clear evidence of that. It's just it's only so much coaching up you can do, right? And I just don't see how that's even going to get to that remotely to that point with the way Jimmy's going about it. Because if I'm a 5-star kid, there's no way I'm going to play for Michigan the way it looks right now. In terms of the turmoil with the head coach position, not the university itself.
Yeah, I think that what you just said about whether he can take it to the next level or it can be taken to the next level, I agree that it's debatable, but I tend to think that, he's brought it this far. I believe that he can win a national championship at Michigan. That
Wow.
doesn't necessarily mean I'm predicting it, but I believe that he can. I believe if he's done what he was able to do over the last 2 years, that they can win a championship at Michigan, a national championship. But I also believe that somebody else could do it too. It's not like he is the only guy that can raise this program to that level.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things where it will be interesting if he left, is how would the next coach go about running this program stylistically? Because I think one of the worst things you could do in terms of trying to sustain the success in the short term is change the style. That's why I think they'll probably lean more towards internally first. People who kind of, of course, know what type of offense they run, know the players, and kind of will try to stick with what's working right now, and maybe make subtle changes over time. And granted, guys, there's no breaking news. He has not left, has not signed on a dotted line anywhere, but we're just talking what ifs. Um, but I will say, to win at the highest level, to win a national title, you gotta get more of the 5-star kids, and you do have to show some kind of ability to have just flexibility, with your offense, and do that earlier on in the season. I still will harp um, on the point that Harbaugh and his staff did not do JJ McCarthy uh, do service by handing the football off 30 times his first couple of starts. I still felt like, especially with the quality opponents that they had, that he would have been better suited, throwing the football more and just getting more of those repetitions. Now, would that have prevented the 2 pick sixes? Maybe, maybe not. But I know for sure, um, you know, he's JJ still doesn't look like a fully polished quarterback who has been almost 2 years in his career. And that to me falls directly on a guy like Jim Harbaugh, where you know, maybe his style as a coach, uh, and this flies in the face of him being a quarterback whisperer, right? But his style as a coach is not conducive to a quarterback maximizing their potential, right? And maybe a change at the head coaching position if Jimmy left would allow for something like that. So I bring that up to basically say that if Jim Harbaugh left, would I be crying and feeling like, oh, all this loss? I would not.